I've been trying out this new Louboutin foundation for the past 2 weeks, and here are my thoughts. I've had a cold this entire week, so my voice is still a little bit scratchy since I'm still recovering, but I really wanted to record this video for you. I have been testing out this foundation for the past 2 weeks, and I have both good and bad thoughts about it. So first I'm going to talk about the packaging itself, and then I'm going to kind of dive into the formula, kind of dissect the ingredients in here, and then we're going to apply this foundation. I'm going to show you the application of it, kind of how to apply it, and also I'm going to do a full day wear test because I feel like it's really important with this foundation in particular to show you how it wears throughout the day. First, for the packaging, it comes in a red box as expected from a Louboutin, anything really. So inside we have this beautiful glass bottle, and really this bottle is pretty extravagant. I think that when you look at it on the website, that's the first thing you notice is how glorious and amazing this bottle is. I just love the cap on here. It is definitely a Louboutin type of product through and through. When you see it, you know that it is from Louboutin, and then the cap itself has the red marking inside, just like their shoes. This is going to look beautiful on your vanity, and I love the presentation of it. It looks very high-end, and it should really. This does retail for $77, which is expected from a high-end foundation, so nothing too surprising there. This foundation is described as a full coverage foundation that slips effortlessly on a light veil that brings breathable, buildable, perfectly flawless comfort and coverage. It does have up to 24-hour transfer comfortable wear and a luminous matte finish. I also describe this foundation as a vegan formula infused with Dermaglam complex concentrated of precious skin-loving ingredients that actively cares for the skin. It minimizes the appearance of pores, smooths and softens the complexion, and leaves the skin feeling moisturized after 24 hours. The hydration description is what really drew me to this foundation to begin with. I love glowy products. I do have more of drier skin, and with a matte foundation I find that it really dries out my skin. It doesn't look very nice, especially towards the end of the day, but I do enjoy it, especially for a night out, just a matte type of base with glowy type of products on top. The only real matte foundation that I really love is the one from Chanel, but I still find that it does dry out towards the end of the day. After around the 5-hour mark, usually I just start getting kind of dryness, dry patchiness throughout my skin. So let's see if this one does that. Shade matching this foundation is probably going to be the most difficult. This foundation is not available at any stores near me, so I can't physically go to a store and purchase it. So I just basically had to go blindly online and just search for the different undertones. Now there are 3 different undertones. We have cool, neutral, and warm. I am more of a neutral undertone, although it can be slightly cool, especially during the winter time. So the shade that I went for is 30NC, which is 30 neutral cool. The reason why I chose this shade is because it's described to suit medium skin tones with neutral and slightly cool undertones. So I felt that the shade will probably match me the best, and it is a little bit on the darker tone, but I feel like I did a pretty good job. If you are on the fence with how to color match yourself with this foundation, I would start with your undertone first. Just have a look at the foundations that you currently have. Do you normally go for a cool, neutral, or a warmer type of side when it comes to foundation? So start with that and then go on the chart that is available on their website, and then just choose the color match that you think would be most probable and closest to your skin tone. I just zoomed you in. I'm going to go straight into the application of this foundation. Now I do love the pump to this foundation, and it is a thicker type of consistency. It's not runny in any way, and I do love that, but you would expect that from a matte foundation. Here is a close-up of the shade. So again, this is shade 30NC. As you can see, it is a little bit on the darker end. I think this is going to be a perfect match for me during the summertime, and I will show you how I kind of make it work in the wintertime. One thing about the foundation that I immediately noticed when I first applied this is the smell. It has such a strong type of smell that I feel like I dislike, very much so. when I first applied this, my first impression was what is that smell? And just looking at the ingredients, it does have perfume in there. So I thought maybe it doesn't have any perfume and this is just the smell that comes from the active ingredients that are in the foundation itself. But it does have perfume, and I'm not sure why they chose this kind of perfume, but I think it smells like the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray. So if you don't like the way this smells, then you are not going to like the smell of this foundation. Now it does go away as you apply it. Just give it a couple of minutes, it does go away, but the smell is pretty bad in my opinion at least. I'm using my Chanel foundation brush to apply this. Now I'm just going to apply it to half of my face. I have to say, this foundation does apply beautifully. It slips right on. It doesn't tug on the skin at all. It just really glides on the skin beautifully. You also really don't need very much at all for coverage. So this definitely is a high coverage type of foundation. And it covers beautifully. And as you can see, the color does match me. It does suit me very well. And it does leave just a flawless veil on your skin. As I mentioned, I have had a cold all week, so I do have a little bit of redness around my skin. My skin does feel a little bit more congested than normal, but that's perfect to apply this foundation. It really puts this foundation to the test. I also noticed this foundation does not set into any fine lines. Now I don't have any fine lines per se, but I do have smile lines. So right around here, I noticed some foundations do tend to kind of creep up in that area. This one does not. Again, the smell, I really wish they didn't put this kind of fragrance, whatever it is in here. I just feel like you don't need fragrance in a foundation. I know that was a lot of high end. It's about the experience of applying the makeup, and scent usually comes with the experience, but we really don't need it. So that's half of my skin with the foundation and half without. As you can see, flawless finish. It really does look beautiful. It glides on the skin beautifully. It does have a matte finish, but at the same time, it's not a dry type of matte, so it doesn't dry out your skin. And again, I have been testing this out for the past 2 weeks, and you'll notice with the test that I'm going to do today as well. Yesterday I actually wore this all day too, and it was raining outside, very winter cold weather, and my foundation did look flawless all day. I'm taking another pump for the other side of my face. I'm going to do something a little bit different with this side. So, because I do personally like glowy products and a glowy foundation, a lot of the times when I have a matte foundation, I usually mix it in with something else. I'm going to mix it in today with the Dior Forever Star Filter. I've been loving this stuff, by the way. I did do a full review, so if you haven't watched it, I will link it down below. So I'm going to take half a pump of that. I'm going to mix that in, and it slightly makes the foundation a little bit more lighter, which in this case, because this is a little bit darker for me, that's a good thing. And then it also makes it into more of a glowy type of finish. So this is with the Dior Star Filter mixed in, and this is without. You can see there's that little bit of a glow factor that it leaves behind versus completely matte. And because I personally like more of glowy products, I think I do prefer it mixed in with something else. I really wanted to show you the options that you have with this foundation, and the fact that it will not affect the formula itself if you mix it in with something else as well. I always do this, just depending on the day, what I need from my foundation to do, the event itself. This is all that I would really apply, just one thin layer, and I think that's enough for me. But I have tried this and it is buildable. So if you apply another layer, it's not going to cake, it's not going to dry out. It will kind of add on just fine and still look just as beautiful. It'll just increase the coverage. Just getting even more up close, just to show you that flawless finish that this foundation gives. Really is beautiful. I'm going to finish the rest of my makeup off camera and I will be right back. So there's the rest of my makeup all done, and I did use the Mimi Rose palette by Dior as my eyeshadow today, and I think my makeup looks beautiful today. I will list everything that I use down below in the description box, so if you are wondering what I have on today, it's all in the description box. Alright, so I am going to do a full day wear test as promised. But now I've had the foundation on for about an hour and it is still looking pretty good, pretty hydrated. Really, that's the main point for me when it comes to a matte foundation. Because I have dry skin, what I tested this foundation for is the hydration factor of it. So I will continue to do check-ins throughout the day, but this is what my makeup looks like with the foundation for an hour. So we'll do another check-in in a couple of hours. I filmed this a couple of hours later while running errands. A windy day, but the foundation looks nice in natural lighting. And I've had the foundation on since this morning, so about 5 hours. And this is what it looks like. Still looking pretty fresh. And actually kind of glowy on this side at least. But still looking pretty good. It is now the end of the day. It's been a busy day of errands for me, and I think I'm going to close out the video. So I've had this foundation on now since this morning, so about 7 hours, and it is looking pretty good. So it definitely is a high coverage foundation. I don't think it's an everyday type of foundation unless you like high coverage foundations for every day. I personally don't. I like to have more of a natural type of foundation, just apply foundation on areas where I really need it for every single day. But for a high coverage foundation, I certainly like it for an evening night out, if there's a special occasion, but definitely not for every day. So when you see it in person, and I'm sure you saw when I did a touch point throughout the day, it is high coverage. You can certainly see that you have makeup, you have foundation on your skin. It's not one of those no makeup type of looks, that's for sure. So it's high coverage. It's perfect for filming. So I think I will use this foundation for filming. I think it gives a flawless type of finish. Your pores will be completely airbrushed. So it is perfect for those of you that have big, large pores. You will certainly love this. If you have wrinkles, I think you will love this foundation. I did try it on my mom earlier this week, and she felt that it was pretty good for what it is. She doesn't usually like to apply foundation, but I think it's a great foundation. Other than the fact that it smells horrible. I really dislike the smell. I wish it smelled different, but the smell does go away once you apply it on within a half an hour or so. You will not smell anything, but for the longevity of it, great. Transfer proof wise, I did feel like it transfers a little bit. So it claims to be transfer proof, but I do feel that there is a little bit of transfer, so it will transfer just a little bit on your clothes, but that's normal. I have yet to find a foundation that is completely transfer proof, but otherwise, love the longevity of this foundation, love the way it wears. It's very fluid, it's easy to apply, great foundation overall, great full coverage foundation. So this is probably one of my favorite full coverage foundation that I own. Not my favorite foundation for everyday type of use. I'm going to call it a night. That is it for my review on the Louboutins new foundation. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you in my next video.